All right, what's going on? Football Talk with Russell Wayne. Please give me a like, a subscribe. Go over to that YouTube channel. I'm throwing up that link right there. That's for the YouTube stream right there if you want to go live with us on YouTube. Oh, there it goes. Yeah, welcome one. Welcome all, ladies and gentlemen, to NFC North Talk with Russell Wayne. Thank you for making us one of your listens every single day. Here we are broadcasting live into the Detroit Lions news, into NFC North main event. Mike the Bear fan, Bill the Packer fan, and we have the YouTube channel is up in the link if you want to follow us on the YouTube channel as well. Good morning, everybody. It's August the 25th, and we are here to talk about some football. And my gosh, it's going to be so nice. I think that we're actually going to be talking about real football games next week. And on the line, I have, as always, my partner in crime, Main Event Mike, Emmy nominated Main Event Mike. How you doing this morning, sir?
Oh, yesterday it was a Cracker Jack Emmy. Okay.
Yeah.
I'm good, Russ. Thanks for having me on.
Yeah, I actually thought about it, and I'm like, oh, wow, that makes me actually sound like I'm a legitimate person. having Emmy. So, but I appreciate having you on here every single day right here. And I wanted to put some shout outs right here. We got Tina's in there. She's representing the Lions. Robert is in here. Good morning, bitches. FYT. Go Pack, go. Jason Smith, we got One Pride. We got Mike, the Lion fan. Good morning to you, Mike. welcome to the program. I think that's the first time I've seen Mike the Lion fan on here. Bear down, Mike. I love seeing you on here, brother. And good morning to everybody. And man, last preseason game, and we're talking about this. The last preseason game. How you feeling about that, Mike?
I'm ready to get it over with, and I think Dan Campbell is too.
We had put a couple of things out there, and the $1 million question being, should you rest your starters? Should you not rest your starters? And everything like that. And here we are. Like, there is two strains of these strains of thought that come down. A lot of people want to see their starters. I hear Bear fans saying that they want to, see Justin Fields play 2 quarters. I heard Jordan Love, Packer fans, saying that they want to see him play 2 full quarters of meaningless football. What do you think about that, Mike?
I think I'm looking at it from a Lions perspective. We have 13 days to go, and we can see all 5 of our offensive linemen, our $100 million offensive line. We're going to be able to see them all on the field together, barring some stupid injury, either in this preseason game or this is between now and then. So I'm right there with Dan Campbell. Sit them. Don't play anybody of any significance. This game means absolutely nothing. This is a team that's playing Carolina Panthers who are on your schedule in week 5. Don't show them anything. I wouldn't even let Jahmyr Gibbs have any reps or Sam Laporta at all. Don't show them a thing. Let's let guys like Chase Lucas and Stephen Gilmore try to get a spot on this roster, and that's the only thing this game is good for the Lions. For the Bears and the Packers, I get it. Your quarterback's young. They don't have a lot of good reps under their belt. Let them get out there and play, and that's going to get them more prepared for the regular seasons. When you look at guys like Goff and Cousins, they don't need these reps. They need the rest and the mental reps and the preparation much more.
Yeah, and you know what? You got my mind like working the other day when you had brought up how Andy Reid was one of these proponents that he plays. I mean, Patrick Mahomes and the first team offense and defense, they're going to be out there this weekend, and he believes in getting those meaningful reps in there. And you got my mind working on that. What is the right train of thought? But it seems like it is different for every single team because
well, like we said, Andy Reid doesn't do joint practices, so he's not getting that extra time against other opponents. So Dan Campbell's a firm believer in these joint practices. They're getting a lot more out of them than they are out of preseason when it comes to the first string offense. And going back to our point about Jordan Love and Justin Fields, tonight, Carolina Panthers will be playing their starters. We will see Bryce Young starting under center for the Panthers. So, again, a young quarterback needs the reps. And like you said, it just comes down to 2 different schools of thought on how you believe. Andy Reid is old school when they used to have 5 preseason games, then 4 preseason games. Now they have 3 in joint practices, which he doesn't participate in. So he needs this game for his starters to be ready for week 1 because they didn't get all that extra work like the Lions did.
Yeah, Robert says, stop crying about it. Play the starters a quarter and go on. I mean, that may work for you, Robert. But the thing is like, I didn't even realize this was such an awesome conversation. I put this out there and it's literally split down the middle with people where you think you should get these meaningful reps, but then the Lions, I think they are bucking some trends right here by doing some of the stuff that they did by like simulating a live game. Like, I mean, to the point where they're leaving at halftime and simulating going full board, full practice and getting a preseason reps at that. And I think that's kind of a new feel. I haven't heard of other teams really doing that all that much, or at least they hadn't been putting it on the front of the billboard or anything like that. But, and we want to know what you think out there on this. And if you don't give a shit, I mean, that's cool too. Put that in there. I think that Robert's kind of at nauseum talking about this, just like the rest of us are. Bear Down Mike says Justin Fields will be in preseason. Don't know how long he'll be in. I heard talks of 1 quarter.
Well, I'll tell you what, Russ, what really intrigues me is the Minnesota Vikings defense. They're thin. They got a bunch of nobodies over there. They've lost all their good players on defense. Do you risk an injury if you're Brian Flores or Kevin O'Connell by putting the already thin depth that you have out there? Do you put them out there for their last preseason game? And I could say the same thing about the Bears. We know the Packers and the Lions are deeper than both of those teams all the way down the roster. So it would make sense for those teams to not play as many starters. But I'll be really interested to see if Minnesota puts Harrison Smith at 34 years old out there in a meaningless preseason game.
Right. And it's even striking a conversation in here. You got Jason coming in saying exactly keep your primary healthy. We have plenty of games to show what they can bring. And then Robert comes back with LOL. What are you guys hiding from? There's a target on your back and you should run your starters or risk Lions with the slow start. And that's the thing, Robert. It's like it is different for every team. Dan Campbell believes in getting those bottom people reps. They want to figure out who's going to fill the bottom of this roster over getting these guys out there in front of the cameras. Like, I understand what you're saying about, not having them ready, right? You want to have them go on full reps, but they are doing full reps. This isn't 80% reps. They went at it like a full game. Like their preseason game was on Tuesday during practice. And that's and they don't want to put the cameras on that. They don't want to put the tape out there.
Right. Quit being a troll, Robert. You just want to see Frank Ragnow get injured before week 4 before he smashes your team on the line. Stop it. We know exactly what you're up to.
No, I mean, I'll defend Robert on this part because from his perspective, the Green Bay Packers, when you're hyper focused on your team, if I'm a Green Bay Packer fan, I do want to see Jordan Love out there. I want to see him take the reps because he needs the experience. Jared Goff doesn't need experience. David Montgomery's been in this league. That offense is a well-oiled machine. That's the reason why they're pulling those guys off. They don't need it. They're going out there practicing hard every day and dominating. And that's what they're doing. But it's different for the Green Bay Packers. I think that it is good to see Jordan Love go out there and get a couple reps. So
yeah, and if I'm a Packer fan, I want to see the Lions play their starters and risk an injury. That just works to their advantage. So I know right where Robert's going with this. Let's see right through it.
Bear Down Mike says, Mike, Russ, why don't you start your starters for at least a series, especially coming into the game season against KC? They're going to be shaking the rust off.
That's already been done. It's already been done against our ones. Our ones against ones. We had a spirited tackling practice. Even had a halftime. It was game simulation. Plus, these joint practices have been game simulations with the starters. Right. They've come out of it with no injuries. That's why you don't play them in this meaningless game. This team is stacked top to bottom, and there are only a couple of holes to fill, and that is the only purpose this preseason game serves for the Lions.
Right. And that's why this is such an intriguing conversation, because I could feel Bear Down Mike on that. Why not? I mean, there's a school of thought that's out there that thinks that you need to get your, those up reps against a different team and that it may make them come in flat. That's a school of thought that's out there, and it deserves to have its spot on there. And thank you for that comment, man. I didn't think this was so intriguing until the other day when you brought it up. It's like, well, what am I going to say? Well, Dan Campbell's smarter than Andy Reid. I mean, Andy Reid just won a Super Bowl and he thinks that they should play. John Kapler says, hell, just play the third and fourth stringers. We know who the backups are right now. It seems like the Lions fans are pretty okay with them resting the starters. We don't want to see the injuries, right?
But Russell, if you're going to play Justin Fields, aren't you going to put your best offensive line out there as well to protect him? I mean, if you're going to play the third and fourth string offensive line, don't trot out your starting quarterback.
Well, I think that there's a school of thought out there from Dan Campbell where you want to give your second and third stringers trial by fire, right? putting our second stringers against Carolina's first stringers. I mean, you're not going to be going against their backups when they bring you in. If by some chance, these bottom roster people end up getting out on the field, they're not going to be playing against the backups. They're going to be playing against the starters. And getting the second team reps against the first team, I think, is valuable too.
Can you imagine if the preseason game, they trot out their starting offensive line in Chicago and Justin Fields, and they suffer another injury on that offensive line? It's over for the Bears if that happens.
Yeah, Jason Smith is what you don't know about what the team has to bring will hit you harder. So, I think that there's some deception going on here. I mean, in preseason, they literally don't count against anything. It's glorified practice. That's all that it really is, glorified practice. Robert says nobody is scared of you guys. Well, that might be a problem because you should be. You should be scared of us.
I think Quay Walker is.
Yeah, I think Quay Walker's still crying. He's in the tunnel. He's in the tunnel right now. People always hide from the excuse and don't risk injury in a meaningless game. Guys get injured in practice. And it's not about injuries, Robert. I don't think that he's pulling them back because he's afraid of them getting injured. I think he's pulling them back because there's other guys that need to be looked at. If you're going to get a full evaluation of your team, I mean, if you want to go have a little parade on how awesome your first string is, then that's fine. But I mean, who's your depth? Who are the guys behind your starters? That's what they're trying to figure out in preseason. I mean, if you disagree with me, go ahead, throw it in the comments. Jordan says, I like the take on not giving opponents any extra tape and study for the rookie players and keeping the starters healthy. Well, thank you.
You like that?
I get a W like that on. I didn't think of that. There you go. There we go. He likes my opinion.
That was my take.
What?
That was my take. Don't pull Laporta and Gibbs out there and give them any tape. But you can take credit for my take. Everyone does.
Yeah, I'm sure that you're the first person to ever say that. We don't need tape. That's what and that is a common denominator on this show. Is we believe in the tape. We believe in it's all the little details, and you don't want to show the speed. You don't want to show how you can get to an angle with Jahmyr Gibbs because he does have special ability with his speed and athleticism and his control of his body. So Robert says LMAO. You see me, Mem, you got some thick ass glasses. I'm sure that you see me all the time, all the way in Texas. All right. Robert's down in Texas. We do appreciate you listening every day. And
the only thing worse than a Packer fan is a Packer fan in Texas. Okay.
Well, but if you're into Packer fan type of stuff, I do believe that Robert is part of the Frozen Tundra Network with Bill the Packer fan, and they got good Packer news. If you're into that kind of thing, then check out the Frozen Tundra Network. They'll keep you updated. Bill's got more followers than Buddha. Is that what you said? Oh gosh, man, we're having fun here today. At least I'm having fun. Maybe you guys are bored to death, but Bear Down Mike says joint practices are good for the team, but they're not hitting any QBs. So I would be worried about Jarrett if the O-line slow against KC. So you didn't hear what we said earlier. So they joint practices are good for the team. They do go full board in some of those joint practices and the scrimmages. And the scrimmage that they had, the ones versus the ones the other day, that was full hitting. That was a game where there was a couple hits in there that would make you go ooh or make you go ah. So they're getting the full test. He's putting them to the test in the practices. And that's something that could be debated too. Are you going too hard by going 100% in a practice? What do you think about that, Mike? I mean, is that a mistake to go that hard? And I mean, is he risking more injury by doing that in practice?
Yeah, absolutely. And to their point there, yeah, those joint practices not hitting quarterbacks. Guess what? Jared Goff isn't going to learn anything from getting hit again in his career. So neither team, both teams their quarterbacks are wearing red jerseys in joint practice because neither one is going to learn anything from that. And their defense, if you get to the quarterback, all the learning ends right there when you get there. Tackling him isn't going to make any kind of a difference. So I'm not sure I understand that comment completely. Robert did make a personal attack on my glasses. I'm going to let that one go because we try not to do personal attacks.
Yeah, we try not to, but sometimes they slip in there. But usually not in the morning.
Trust me. When you live in Texas and you're a Packer fan, you've got so much stuff there for me. I don't need to go with a personal attack. So just save it for Monday, Robert. Come get a piece.
Yeah, hopefully Robert can come in on the Monday where we do have the NFC North, our trash talk. That's our trash talk right there. Look at that. Look at that mug right there. Yeah, you want to come get a piece Monday night. NFC North open mic with Main Event Mike, the King of Sting, Emmy nominated. He's gonna come in, and that's a great show, and that's a little more, R-rated. Let's say that. And here's a little trash talk in there, and we appreciate Lil Head Cortez for joining the show, and he says Detroit Lions trash. Right, that's like there we go, but that's all right. We still love talking football. Actually, I love talking football with the enemy. The enemy is going to give you the best insight ever, right? Don't you think? Let's look at some of these right here. Let's see if I can't find something in here. Green Bay Packer news. Sean Clifford was named the number 2 quarterback. What a good story that is. I mean, if you're into Packer news, I like the fact that Sean Clifford just came in and had a strong camp. What do you think about Sean Clifford?
I love it. Congrats to Sean Clifford and congrats to the Packers. They made a draft pick, and that draft pick not only made the team, he has secured the spot that you drafted him to take. That's a win, right? That's a win for the Packers. That's a win for Brian Gooden something.
We're going to buy the kneecap off.
That's a win for them, and that's great. And when Aiden Hutchinson smashes Jordan Love, we'll be able to see Sean Clifford.
Yeah, and Robert comes through here and says MEM. I love it. He's making acronyms. MEM is Main Event Mike. He's using the quick spelling in there, so that's cool. Thank you, Robert. Jason Smith says Green Bay is going to pucker when they hit the field. I don't know about that. Let's see. Pucker. I'm just gonna.
I love that. Can we get a Kirk Cousins for the Packers?
You like that?
Oh my gosh. David says we will see.
Go ahead. I'm sorry.
We will see if they'll start out flat, if they get a lot of injuries because they didn't build up and prepare. The experiment scares me. How about you? And there we go. There's the other side of that argument. Is he under preparing them by not putting them out there in the preseason game? I mean, I don't think so, because I think that they'll probably go harder in their own practice game than they would in a preseason game.
Yeah, I mean, veiled in there, hidden in there is a really great point. If you go out to KC in week 1 and it takes you a half of football to get acclimated to gain speed, you're in trouble against Kansas City. You can't fall behind in the first half into a big hole and expect to win. So I think there's a good point in there that that could be the other school of thought. get them out there, get them more ready for game speed so that you can come out prepared in week one. But I think Dan Campbell and these coaches, Aaron Glenn, these guys are former players. They know exactly how to make that happen. Matt LaFleur, a former player for a minute. Does he have a real grasp of it? Kevin O'Connell also for a minute. I don't know if these guys really have that knowledge the way that Dan Campbell and Eberflus even. Well, Eberflus only played college ball, so I guess Matt doesn't count either. But I think Dan Campbell's really the only one that really has a grasp on what it takes to be ready for the first season as a player.
Yeah. Robert's coming in and says, we ain't scared of you guys because you ain't showing us what we should be scared of. Soft little pussycats meow, so ferocious. And he also says that he's going to come on Monday night. Definitely. He's going to show you. He's going to show you some stuff right there. But I mean, I don't know what you want us to do, Robert. I mean, we're so we haven't shown you anything to be scared of. They beat you three times in a row.
I want you, Balboa.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
I mean, I don't know what they got to do. He's like that guy that, you know, always wants to fight you and then you beat him up and then he keeps coming back and he wants some more. And it's like, how many times I got to punch you in the face, knock you down and beat you? It's 3 in a row right now, Robert. You're not even a little bit scared. We're still meow. You sound like the Michigan fans after Ohio State kicked their ass for 20 years. And then, and it's like, oh, well, now we're talking tough because you won 2 games in a row. That's awesome. So, but here's the thing. They've won 2 games in a row. Now, if Ohio State's looking at Michigan and laughing at them, that would be kind of dumb. That'd be kind of dumb because, you know, you want to go into 3 games in a row, 4 games in a row. Well, it's getting kind of streaky now. So I don't know if it's smart not to be at least a little bit scared because we got pretty good. We got pretty good. And the team that you saw last year that you think is just that you're going to roll over, it got better. The team that beat you last year with our 32nd ranked secondary beat you last year, and that secondary got completely overhauled. I mean, I don't see how it could be any worse. And with some of the guys and a guy that you gave us in Brian Branch, thank you for that, by the way. Thank you for letting us trade up and grab perhaps the best defensive player in the draft. Wow. So Robert says, I love Clifford. He's secured the QB number 2. All right, Scotty Reno in the house. Prediction:
Scotty Reno.
Mahomes is going to see more sacks than Jenna Jameson. Oh,
You like that?
oh,
love that.
that was awesome. That was awesome. Oh,
You like that?
I gotta finish that one out. That one gets the first 10 banger of the year from Kirk Cousins. That was a 10 banger. You like that for Scotty Reno? Oh my
I
gosh!
love it. Good one, Scotty.
Oh,
I think Justin Fields is gonna see more sacks than a vasectomy doctor.
oh,
No, okay.
okay.
Okay, no. All right. They don't all work.
Oh my gosh. Holy cow, MEM Goody for short. You'll be butchering it up. Yeah, that helps. With I mean the Goody the Gouda guy. The Gouda guy.
All I know is there's a KUNT in there.
Somewhere in there. But Green Bay couldn't beat us with Aaron, but love will. The Lions are built to dominate the North on purpose, says Jeff. Thank you for the comment. That some tough talk coming in there today. Oh, Jeremy Ballrick. Last year, Goff begged to play in the preseason. The offense was good and the defense was more lackluster. So MCDC said this year we will do it my way. So, yeah, I mean, for us to say that the offense came out flat last year when you score 45 points in the first game, well, I guess defense scored 6 of those points. So yeah, like over 30 points. They're over 35 points in the first game, and then in the Seattle game, wasn't that another 45 pointer? It's like the offense wasn't flat last year, guys. So that kind of defeats that, we're not ready, through preseason. Jason Smith, exactly what I'm saying. One funky Lions fan. The reason that he failed in Arizona is because they made him a linebacker. I'm a Clemson fan, and he was used in Clemson where he was primarily a box safety, and he's talking about Simmons, the safety.
And they just gave him a $45 million contract, by the way. And another thing about Simmons from Clemson, the reason he slipped in the draft is because a lot of GMs have said they didn't know where he fit. Was he a linebacker? Was he an end? His size is right in between that range.
Right.
And they just couldn't really put their finger on where he would line up. So I think we're still seeing that situation with him today.
Yeah. I mean, he sounds like a guy that would be a Dan Campbell guy and an Aaron Glenn guy, with him being a tweener, with us using that third safety.
He's a great human too. If you ever listen to an interview with him, he does amazing charity work. He's a great high character guy. Definitely a guy that would have fit well in Detroit.
Jeremy Barwick says last season the claws cut through the cheddar heads like melted Gouda.
Playoffs? You like that?
Oh gosh, I wish it was for a playoff spot too. It was a good way to go out for the season, but John Kapler.
I'm sorry, Russ. Can I cut you off right there? Can you read Jeremy Ballreich's quote again, his take again? That was so eloquent. I want to hear it one more time.
Last season, the Lions' claw cut through the cheddar heads like it was melted Gouda.
Woo, that's eloquent. Jeremy Ballreich writes to the South Florida Tribune. You can probably tell with that incredible display of eloquent writing there. I love that call out. Like melted Gouda.
Well, I should get some credit on that. He misspelled lions.
Oh.
That's all right, though. Give
yourself one Kirk Cousins for that.
You like that?
Okay. Yeah, but that's all right. We don't. This is the home of the bad takes. But that was good, though. I mean, even though, like, I felt the spirit behind it. And now you have Jason Smith, and now you have Jordan or Jordan or Jordan Loveless.
You like that? You like that?
That's like 4 of them right there. You guys are trash talking in here. I mean, we got like Monday night happening in the comments, man. This is awesome. Jeremy says that Matt LaFleur couldn't split with us with a Hall of Fame QB. Now they expect an unknown to beat us. They absolutely do. Robert's going to come back here. We're not even close. You guys had a decent season, and you usually choke the season after. You guys have no continuity. So what? That's last year. All new players. You gave us Reed. You're welcome. You guys were banking on Reed at 48. Okay. We didn't give you Reed. You allowed us. You gave us Brian Branch. You were satisfied with getting Reed. Like, were we supposed to draft Reed? Was that somebody that we were supposed to be after right there? Let's see. Howdy, everyone. Season is almost here. Sarah's jacked up. She wants to shut me up. I know. I've been given.
I love Sarah.
I
love Sarah.
I've been given.
I would say of all the Minnesota Vikings fans, I hate Sarah the least.
Yeah, I've been given a hard time all off season, and if they prove me wrong, I'm gonna owe Sarah an apology if they're all of a sudden good. But here's the thing: is I don't hide behind my takes. I don't change who I am just because somebody else might say something. So I have my beliefs, and if I'm proven wrong, I'll come up here and say it. But I just don't think that the Vikings are going to be very good this year. Jeremy Ballrick says that Justin Fields will see more sacks than Kurt Warner did as a grocery bagger.
You like that?
Oh my God, the singers are coming in, man. Let's see. John Dorn comes in and said Rodgers made Joseph. Kirby Joseph is Aaron Rodgers' daddy. I'll give him a couple on that. He made Joseph. Joseph had a breakout year last year. It was a little bit better than we thought he was going to be, and that's fun.
Yeah, when you're a rookie and you pick off a Hall of Famer 3 times, that'll make you.
All right, David Barnett says the Lions didn't completely overhaul the secondary. We hope Pack fans remember Joseph. Robert says eloquent, LMAO spell check. Robert calls it out.
You like that?
Oh, if you're gonna come in with the trash talk, you better hit that spell check. Oh, so sorry about that. Melted through more like melted Velveeta. All right, Jason's more of a Velveeta guy. And I do.
They both sound good.
Oh, Lions Nation from Adam McIntyre. Sleepless in New York. John Dorn says, when will the Lions get a real QB? Goff is horrible. Can't carry the team. I also believe that you forgot that he has a noodle arm, too. That's right. Branch slow as a turtle, says John Dorn. And those are the fun things. Those are the fun things that you get to find out live, and because you haven't been at the practices, you haven't seen the practices, and who he's running with right now. Bear Down Mike says Lions are on that damn hype train today. Can't wait for the season. Remember, the Lions never have had good back-to-back seasons. Yeah, thanks for the history lesson. I haven't heard that ever. Gosh, man, that is breaking news from Bear Down Mike. Jaden Reed is considered a day 3 pick. Reach much? LOL. Yes, thank you for Jaden Reed. I'm glad that you selected him in the 2nd round. Detroit Lions with John Kapler. Yeah, Mike, when was the last time that the Bears were good? When was their last playoff wins? Oh, we got a whole bunch of comments just came in. All right. Packers new QB love to lose, says Glenn. You only get one on that. Bear Down Mike, LOL. When was the last time that you guys won the division? We won it. We won't in 2018. Actually, you did win it in 2018. So, and by the way, 2018 was in the past. So, you won't win it. I have faith in you. Just look at those history books. You won it, Bear Down Mike. There's that spell check.
You like that?
Coming back to haunt you. I'm glad I ain't into spell stuff. I'm a worse speller than anybody on this show. Okay. I think if we're going to read it, but you were interrupted. So how do the Lions not trade a 7th for Isaiah Simmons to get a super stud on defense and grade up? And you can move Alex Anzalone to 2nd string. Why wouldn't they take an unproven guy in our system when we have a loaded secondary? I don't know. I mean, well, he and they just paid him too, didn't they?
Yes. And the reason is we already got that player. His name is James Houston. And we pay him less than a third of what Isaiah Simmons is getting. And they're essentially the same player.
And then even at that, if they're throwing him back into the safety part or Isaiah Simmons, I mean, he was the big, huge safety that could run out of the gym, right? So, I mean, we got... No,
he's a linebacker. He's like a jack linebacker, defensive end more.
Oh, okay.
They weren't sure where he was too small for DE, too big for linebacker. So they didn't really know. That's why he slipped in the draft. A great player, no doubt.
Yeah.
But it's all about fit, right? It's all about matchups and fit in this league. And we don't have a need for that guy.
Yeah. Okay. I hope that answers it for you. Let's see.
Could Isaiah Simmons do well in Detroit? Hell yes. Would he make our team better? Possibly. But is he going to be that much better to pay him $45 million? No.
No, I don't. I mean, we want to. If you can see the style of what Holmes is doing, he wants to build the team, and he wants to build it through the draft, and he wants our impact players to be, the guys that we drafted. So, him bringing somebody in from the outside to all of a sudden, jump in and start. I mean, you got to earn your way onto this team.
I love the call out though, Russ. I do love that call out, that comment of, that's the first time I've ever heard anybody even suggest that maybe the Lions missed by not making a play for Simmons. And I hate to switch sports here, but it reminds me of the Detroit Pistons. Everybody said, why didn't you draft Carmelo Anthony? The reason we didn't draft Carmelo Anthony is because we already had that player. His name was Tayshaun Prince, and we took him the year before. And we went on to win the NBA title that year. And sure, Darko was a bust, but we knew what we had, and we already had that player.
Right.
And I think that's how it translates here in Detroit with James Houston.
And you know what? And that's fine. Like, if we want to play the woulda, coulda, shoulda, but the Lions are taking a route right here, and they didn't go and get him. I wouldn't call them not acting on something like that. Like, there's 31 other teams that also didn't go get him. So they made the move. They paid the money, but I don't know. I just don't think that was good for us. Robert comes in and says the Lions never won the North. Gonna keep that going strong in 2023. And I got to give you
like that.
I got to give you 5 on that, because that is the truth. The last time the Lions won the division, it was the Central at that time, and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers have won the Central. That hasn't been in existence in a more recent fashion than the Lions have. So I can't count that. The Lions have never won the North. They're trying to do something for the very first time ever, and that can't be understated. I am not going to deny history. The history has not been good. Yeah, we want to go back to the 50s glory days, way back then. There's been a couple of good seasons from here and there, a couple that happened when Barry Sanders was here, a couple that happened while Matt Stafford and Calvin Johnson were here. But there hasn't been much joy in the city of Detroit over football. But I'll tell you what, if there is success for Detroit in football, I'll tell you what, this is one of the best football towns ever. And if there's a winner on the football field in Detroit, you look out. The Ford Field is going to be one of the hardest places to come play for years to come. And that's fact. And it could be a painful one. All right. But brought out my inner Rocky IV. I should have said it with a Russian accent, though. And it could be a painful one. Jeremy Balrick says, and the Bears season in 2018 ended with a double doink.
You like that?
So John Dorn's asking good questions here. What week will Hooker take over the Lions? Woo! Go ahead, Mike.
I can answer that. Week 1, 2025.
Week 1, 2025. You think that it's going to be 2 full years with no Hooker?
I think Jared Goff's going to take the Lions to at least the championship game this year, and that's going to ensure that he gets to play out the last year in his contract in 2024. And, hey, if he does something awesome again in 2024, Hendon Hooker might not see the field in 2025.
That is not the answer that John Dorn wants. He wants to say, well, Hendon Hooker's better than Jared Noodle Arm Goff. I don't know, John. The only way that I think that he would see the field in year 1 would be under an injury. Now, I believe that they will start Hendon Hooker on the PUP list, like Mike had brought up in our podcast yesterday. And I think that they're going to keep 2 quarterbacks. And then by week 5, Hendon Hooker will be able to be the backup and be into that spot. So I think that he will be ready by week 5 to do football stuff. But I don't know when he'll be ready. He may be ready by week 5, but I think that, to Mike's point right there, I don't think that we're going to see him minus a Goff injury for the next couple of years. And I agree with you on that.
Right.
It's my quarterback.
If you ask Hendon Hooker, he'll tell you he's ready right now, but his doctor doesn't clear him until September the 1st. And when you start the year on the PUP list, you have to sit out 4 weeks. So like you said, week 5, I mean, God forbid, probably somebody will have an injury, which will open up a roster spot, and they'll activate Hendon Hooker.
Right on. So I thought we answered your question. Awesome, John Dorn, right there. Detroit Lions with John Kapler says that, and what y'all do with that division title in 18. Oh, y'all lost in the playoffs. Okay. We'll get that. I'm trying not to get into the smack talk. We took Branch at 48. Who does the same job as Simmons, to be honest? And I thought that we took Brian Branch I thought we traded up to 45. Maybe I'm wrong on that.
You're right. We took the Packers pick.
We were supposed
Brian
to
Branch.
Right, and Packers were
45 and 48. We traded 45 and 48 and gave up a 5th round pick to trade up.
All right. So gosh, we got Brian Branch, and thank you very much for that. I think that is going to be the best defensive pick from the Lions this year. And our favorite pick was Jack Campbell, and I think that he's going to be really good too, but Brian Branch is bringing something special to the party, I think. Sarah says that LOL, you can't lose in the playoffs if you don't even make it to the playoffs. Hey,
You like that?
I don't like that, but the show is gonna like that. That's a good thing. I mean, we got nothing to say. We got no defense. We have no against our history. We don't
comes in with a better. Every day, Sarah comes in with a better take than Robert will have all year.
Oh man. Jason's saying that our team's being contract savvy. I think you're right. Brad Holmes is there. Hey, you guys can just admit that the Packers formula works when it comes to when you bums are copying us. Built through the draft. You're the only team that's ever built through the draft, so we have to be copying the Green Bay Packers.
I'm so sick of the formula. What formula? You drafted Aaron Rodgers. What? Stop it.
Oh my God. The formula built through the draft. Of course. That's like literally every championship team's formula. Of course, you want to build through the draft, but you have to have a good GM to build through the draft. And the Lions, until recently, we've never really had a good GM. Mayhew was all right. Millen was god awful. He didn't even, he took the job knowing that he sucked. and took an extension because we wanted to be nice to him. Oh, we're loyal. Oh, I'm glad that we got a football operation now. We have a football operation. Oh, Bear Down Mike says John Kapler, Lions have only made the playoffs 17 times in 94 years into the league. Your trash talk is weak. Come at me with facts. Last time that you guys were in the playoffs in 2016 and you lost the wild card. I mean, yeah, the funny thing is they act like we don't know that. Like that gives them.
I had no idea. Thanks for telling me. I had no idea.
Like there's no reason for us to think that our team could be good this year. Because, I mean, I know that nobody, watched my programming from 3 years ago because we were still learning how to do this thing, but it's something that I've been consistent with, This is a new regime, and I want to feel good about this regime. And so far, our regime hasn't done really anything to make me think otherwise. When you rip something apart from the studs, they almost snuck into the playoffs last year. And if they did make it into the playoffs last year, I think they could have got their playoff victory last year because they beat 3 of the teams that were in the playoffs during the regular season.
Yeah.
So
yeah. And who was it that put that comment in, Russ?
That's Bear Down Mike.
That says our trash talk is weak.
Yeah.
You believe me, your team doesn't have to have one Super Bowl in 100 years to make your trash talk good. Okay, that's a ridiculous statement. Our trash talk is on point. It's the strongest on the internet, and I think our team sucking for 50 years only helps that. That only gives us more fuel. And when we do finally win this division, hopefully it'll be this year. But hey, it's the Lions. I get it. Like you just said, Russ, we can't deny the history.
Right.
But when we do, I want all you chumps to be put on notice right now that when we do win this division and go far in the playoffs, you're going to want to turn off this program because it's going to be unbearable for you. Pardon the pun.
When we're right and they're wrong. Gosh, we've been wrong so many times. Like Lucy has pulled the ball, and to their point, I got to give them the devil their due right here. We have been Charlie Brown on our ass because Lucy always seems to pull the ball out. Here comes
she's always wearing stripes.
And I'm, gosh, man, I don't know. I don't know. But it feels way different than anything I've ever felt as a Lion fan before. I mean, there's always been doubt in the back of my head going, we're really looking for, X, Y, and Z to be really, really good that nobody else knows about. And now I see it happen through the other fan bases where there's some surety with the Lions and what they have right now. They're returning those offensive linemen that were really, really good last year, 4 yards before contact. And the guys they brought in are good after contact. I mean, they're building the team smart when it comes to the roster construction here. You may think that they reached on a running back, but that's fine. You got a fast running back that is more elusive that can add to that 4 yards before contact. You're putting those two things together. It could be a dangerous combination. What if everybody's good that comes through for the Lions? What are you going to say then? One funky Lions fan says he is a safety who fell all the way to 8th overall. Okay. I remember the 40 time. I also know that he's played for Arizona Cardinals, and I mean, I don't know how good he's really been. I mean, is he like a top 5 safety or something? I don't want to pay.
I just realized I was talking about the other Simmons guy in Tennessee.
Yeah. Yeah. We're talking.
I had that one wrong.
Well, we're talking about Isaiah Simmons.
Right, and he called me out on that because I called him a DN linebacker. He was a safety linebacker hybrid. That's right.
Right, and I'm thinking of that guy. I remember his combine. I remember him running like the 4.3 40. He was the track star that year. But what has he really done in Arizona that makes you think that we made a mistake by not going after him?
I think it's a Daniil Hunter situation. So many of their players are defecting and they're losing the team out there that they had to sign Budda Baker and Simmons. They had to give them overpay for them just to get them to stay.
Right. And then you're paying all that money to
they're looking
Kyler Murray.
They're looking at the number 1 pick next year. They're obviously the worst team in the league, even worse than the Bears. So they are looking at the number 1 pick next year. And then if the Texans falter, they might even get the first 2 picks in the draft next year. So you want to keep 2 of those pieces on your defense so you can rebuild your offense. And I don't know what they're going to do. Signing Kyler Murray to that extension is going to hurt that team.
Yes, but I mean, and you could tell, I mean, even beforehand that he wasn't like good with leadership skills, going off to the side by himself and pouting, all that. It's like, man, you don't want somebody like that leading your team. For them to give him all that money, that's just foolish by their organization. And yeah, the Bears should feel good. You're definitely not the worst team in the NFL. Arizona definitely carries that mantle for sure. Jeremy,
and we might be saying that we might be seeing the same situation in Kansas City with Chris Jones, putting things out on Twitter and out on social media to get the fans riled up, to put pressure on ownership to sign the guy and keep him.
Right. And I mean,
exactly what Kyler Murray did.
So there we go. Will Chris Jones play in week 1? We talked about that yesterday, but there was a couple of things that we didn't mention about this contract, because you're just like, oh, he's just going to get paid and everything like that. Chris Jones could sit out. This is the last year of his contract. So he is going to get that contract from somebody. And if he has to give up $10 million to get that, to get that extra money, he's going to do that. He feels like he's earned it. 15 and a half sacks. I do believe you're right, because Chris Jones has all of the leverage right here. I mean, if he's willing to sit out for the 8 weeks, then they have all the leverage. They have to pay him, and they'll have to make it work.
He's in the last deal of a 4-year, $80 million contract. So he's getting $20 million a year, and now he's the 8th highest paid after these deals for Quinnen Williams and some other defensive tackles around the league. He's now the 8th highest paid defensive tackle in the league. You know what, Chris Jones? Shut up. Play your last year at $20 million, then go get a big contract. Stop it. And if you do sit out, just sit out week 1.
But okay, well, I mean, the opinion of it, that's something that you can throw into the comments. What do you think the opinion of that is? But that is looking like that could be a real thing. Is that where he's saying that he could sit out until week 8? And then the other thing is Jackson Smith-Njigba. He also injured his finger and might not be there for week number 2. So Lions are they catching breaks? I mean, that would be, not facing Chris Jones would be like a gift that would keep on giving right there. I mean, Frank Ragnow not having that test to begin with, they might get pushed right out of the way without Chris Jones. The running game could be on fire in that first game if they ain't got to play Chris Jones, Mike.
Right.
I mean, that's huge when it comes with that. So what do you think about that? Let me get back into these comments right here. Rajni says, any wonder why we should take the Lions seriously? Detroit Lions seriously? Yeah, there is. We kicked your ass twice last year. There's a reason.
Thanks for being in the comments, Rodney.
Yeah, thank you
for seeing it here every morning. You're a Bears fan asking why we should take the Lions seriously. That in itself doesn't even need any trash talk. That in itself is a cut down enough right there.
One Funky Lion fans, Hooker is on the NFI list. No need to move him up to the PU or move him to the PUP. And the only time he should play is week 18 when a playoff spot is tied up. And I want to push back on that a little bit. He is on the NFI list, but here's the thing on the NFI list is he takes up one of the 90 roster spots. Am I correct?
One of the 53.
Well, right now he takes up one of the 90. You
can only dress. You have a 53-man roster, but you can only dress 48. The NFI, I believe, counts in them other 5.
So the NFI would count as one of the 53, correct?
I think so. I believe so. I don't know about that 100%.
So that would be
maybe Robert can tell us.
That would be the reason that they would move him up from to the PUP list, because the PUP list, I know for a fact, does not count against the 53-man roster, but they would lose him for the first 4 weeks in that way. I do believe that that's what they're going to do too, because they want those extra roster spots, Robert. Not Robert, one funky Lions fan, whoever that is. The team to beat this year is the Lions, period. Jeremy says 57 years of futility. Jeremy says that he's been a fan for 46 of that. Right out of the womb, Jeremy was a fan. Like, he came right out. He's like, go Lions!
One pride,
right out of the womb. Oh, I think you're 46 years old, Jeremy. If you're older than that, correct me. Bear down, Mike. So if you win the NFC North, the Packers, Bears, and Vikings will all at the same time say, what took you guys so long? Yeah, you guys got your loaded response. If we finally win the North, it's like, gosh, we're ready for it.
One player, Russ, can turn a franchise around, but it takes a full team around him to reach the top of the mountain. Barry Sanders turned this team around, but he didn't have enough around him to get us to the top. Same with Matt Stafford. Now we've done it a different way, and that's why you should take the Detroit Lions seriously, because they finally got it right. And if the Packer fans want to say our formula, well, that's great, because the Packers are notorious for not taking skill positions in the first round, and the Lions always did, and that always hurt us. So maybe there is something to that Packers formula, whatever the hell that is.
Right, and I got Robert in here saying I think it's 6 weeks. Are we wrong on the PUP thing? Is it 6 weeks and not 4 weeks?
No. You got to miss 4 weeks if you're on the PUP list, and the PUP list stands now for Packers Ultimately Pucker.
Are you sure about that, Mike? I don't want to report anything. You're sure on the 4 weeks?
On that one, I am 100% sure on.
Okay. Everyone in the division has their laughs, but I have seen no trophies out of anyone, though. We have the best team this year be open. Bears, Vikes, and Packs. We're a dangerous team. Stop. I'm trying to read stuff in here, guys. I mean, I don't know if spell check is screwing you over right there. Stop capping. Yeah. Stop capping. Is that a thing? Capping.
Yeah, capping means lying, Boomer.
Okay. Stop capping. Yeah. Jeremy says, I think it'll be more the Cardinals had bad coaching and bad player development, because Cliff Kingsbury is god awful at coaching. Yeah, I think
he's awfully smart at contract negotiations, though.
Arizona in the fire sale. Yeah, I mean that's what they're doing. That's what they're doing. But
I mean, Cliff Kingsbury is my hero right now. He's getting paid $28 million this year to go to Thailand and hang out on the beach. And then he goes to USC in a volunteer capacity to help his buddies out there coach the Trojans, just in a volunteer capacity, because if he were to take a paycheck, that would let the Cardinals off the hook from paying him. So I love the way this guy has it worked out. Yeah, he might have been a crazy coach with a crazy scheme, but when it comes to contract negotiations, his agent is a wizard. By the way, same agent that Kyler Murray has, who got him a huge extension from a strapped franchise. So whoever that guy is, we need to get him representing the main event.
Right. And you're getting called out in the comments here. Robert provided a article talking about 6 weeks. So I don't know how sure you are about 4 weeks, but you're getting called out.
Oh, my bad. I mean, okay, well, perhaps he's right. I was 100% sure, but I could be wrong. I mean, I'm not perfect. I mean, I didn't expect a Packer fan to call me out because I didn't think they could read.
Well, we're looking at that. That's pretty dumb I mean, I got to give him
You like that.
because if he got you on that, Mike, that's that's a black eye in the main event, Mike stuff. I mean, I don't know if you're allowed to talk. I don't know if you're allowed to talk crap on any Packer fan for the rest of the show.
I know that's good. If I'm wrong, I'm wrong. I'll admit it. Hey Siri, how many? Never mind.
Yeah. Jeremy sent you a screenshot too. Everybody's calling that out right there. So, well, if they have, so it'll be week 7. So if he goes on the PUP list, it'll be week 7. We were talking about Hendon Hooker at that time. Let's not take the fact part off of what the point of it was that you're going to have to put him and he won't be on the roster. He won't count for the roster during that time when he's on the PUP list, but I think he would count against the roster if he was just on the NFI list. And that was the answer to somebody's question that was in here. Guys shouldn't be asking us like legitimate questions.
Sorry, man, but this comes from NFL.com. Any player who's designated reserve, PUP, on or after rosters are reduced will also be subject to the same 4-game absence. That's NFL.com.
From NFL.com. Okay. Well,
yeah.
We'll have to look at it. We'll have to see. Everybody's providing. All right. No one's saying Lions are trash. We're saying prove it. Prove that you can win the division. Well, okay. Do you want me to cancel the show, Sarah? Do you want me to cancel the show until they prove it? I mean, I'm going to be happy about my team regardless of what you guys say. No matter how many history clips that you put at us, our team is better than your team. And I think, and I have that opinion. That is my opinion. And you are entitled to yours. I'm sure that you guys believe that you're going to win the division again. All of your...
And the article Jeremy Ballreich sent me, a player would miss a minimum of 4 games if he's still on the NFI list after the mandated training camp cut down day. There you go. 4 games.
All right. So Jeremy says injured reserve has 4 and 8 season long designation. So they have 4 and 8. There's no 6. Come on. There's no way that 6 is just a made up number. I don't want to go look at that article right now. NFI rule. Sent main event Mike a screenshot of the NFI rules. Oh man. Bear Down Mike says has nothing to do. They just want us to prove it, Mike. They just want us to prove it. 5-1 in the division is a step towards proof. I think that is enough for us to go, that looked pretty good. And it wasn't like they were great games. It was a good game the first time with Chicago, and then we kicked your ass. The Minnesota Vikings beat us in the first game in Minnesota, but then we kicked their ass. Now, the Green Bay Packers actually threw some slugfests up against us, right? I think that the Green Bay Packers beat themselves in the first game that they had against us. And in the second game, I think that it was just a good matchup. It was a good matchup that the Lions won. It was a slugfest. It's Ali Frazier, Ali Foreman. Felt good. Felt good to win one of those hard fought, drag them out into the middle of the ocean and sea. So, in that regard, they've proven it. I'm saying they're going to win the NFC North. They were 5-1 in the North last year. That should be enough. That should be enough for us to beat our chest a little bit. 5-1 in the North. All right, so
I got to jump off. Russ, can I plug the show?
Go ahead.
Tune in. We broadcast live into Facebook. Join the groups. Join the conversation. It's the main event, Detroit Lions main event. It's NFC North, the huddle. Join the groups. Join the conversation, and be prepared to talk some trash every Monday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Time, broadcasting live on the internet. It's our trash talk, all 4 NFC North teams, fan bases are represented. We are in there talking trash. Mondays at 7 p.m. Eastern time. Tune in and watch me shred Robert the Packer fan.
Very nice. It's always great to have you on your main event, Mike. I love talking to you in the mornings. That's what actually started these phone sessions. We called it the phone session because it was a Me and Mike thing. We were just calling each other, talking to each other every day about football. And it just comes to like, let's just turn on the recorder and invite everybody else into it. And that's where we're at right now. And this has been a great conversation today. I really like this. The Lions games against the Vikings were slugfests too, really. I think that the Lions got the better of you in the second game. It was you got closed out. When you can close a team out and then you're kneeling on the ball, I mean, that's the complete victory. That's why, in Lambeau, that's a complete victory when you get that first down and then you're kneeling on the game, you're not putting it into the hands of other people. Those are things. So John Dorn says, just because you went 5-1 in the division does not mean shit. It's a totally different year. No, it doesn't mean shit. It means nothing for this year. I was asked why I'm beating my chest. Why can't I feel good about this year? They were 8-2 down the stretch. They were 5-1 in the division. They started out awful last year, and you could see the progression of the team when they went 8-2. They beat 3 playoff teams. These are all things that they don't ever do. When you say same old Lions, it's not the same old Lions. It can't be the same old Lions. That's impossible. Laugh it up. They missed the playoffs. They miss the playoffs. That is kind of funny, right? They missed the playoffs. But, going 8-2 down the stretch, and it wasn't like they lucked into these games. They were finishing games out. They were beating teams solidly. They were beating them, not luck. The players that are in their second and third years started to develop. You could see that the game started slowing down for a bunch of different guys. But I agree with Sebastian. I did like it. I was actually at the first game that the Lions lost against the Vikings. We traveled up to Minnesota, and I do have to compliment your stadium. Was rated as the best. I think that was the best stadium in the NFL, and it is beautiful. It is beautiful. What a great stadium they have in Minneapolis. That was fun. That was a fun time. That was a good time. Fans were really cool too. No one gave us too hard of a time. Sarah says sports is all about trash talking. Yeah, none of us are. We can really brag too much. It's like the Packers can brag the most, and they get to be on their high horse if you're in a room full of 4 people. Bear fan, Viking fan, Lion fan, and Packer fan. Yes, Packer fan, you can sit in that room. You can talk a little trash. You the man, right? You the man. But, if we're bragging about something from 2010, that's fine. You've got more Super Bowls. What's going on, John?
Say hello to my little friend.
And we're having...
the Lions fan.
So I think today we're going to get accused of just being straight Homer Lion fans, and I really don't care because that's what the comments are.
We bathe in the Kool-Aid. We have blue soap made, and we bathe in it all the time. We've never done anything. The last thing we did anything was in '91. Well, we don't hang our hats on it. Me and Sarah were talking about that. Sarah, I'm going to assume Sarah's a Bear fan, right?
No, Sarah is a Viking fan.
Oh, Viking fan. Okay. I wasn't sure what her fan base was. But just, with Bear fans, that goes to Judah Tribe fan. Bear fans in general. We won the Super Bowl. awesome, irrelevant, dusty Super Bowl ring. How does that help you this year? That'd be like Hulk Hogan coming back to wrestle and be like, well, brother, let me tell you, I was the WCW champion back in 1995. I'm about 75 now, but I won it, and you've never won the Intercontinental Championship. This is your first day. That was a million years ago. It's irrelevant.
Yeah,
We're not hanging our hats on crap from a million years ago. Come on now.
I love the WWE reference right there.
And, it was just something off the top of the head, you know. I can't go. I'm not bringing up Looney Tunes. Although I did make a really good X-Men point. You know, with if we had Isaiah Simmons, if anyone remembers the X-Men cartoons from back in the day, and when the Juggernaut came in, the X-Men go, "Who's that?" And he goes, "I'm the Juggernaut, bitch." That would be us with Isaiah Simmons. Our defense would be the Juggernaut, bitch.
I'm not sold on Isaiah Simmons like you are.
No.
I mean,
I thought he was an athletic.
Arizona? What did he do in Arizona?
What did a lot of players do when Matt Patricia was here?
I'm just trying to, like, when you put your comment.
Coaching is why I don't think he succeeded as much.
But that's fine.
But that's me.
Our team's got great coaching and we have great safeties. Our safeties are probably.
I know, but why not add more? Make what we think is a strength already a strength. You could move Alex Anzalone back to second string or rotation. You know, which I think Alex Anzalone is a second string.
Alex Anzalone is a linebacker. Isaiah Simmons is a safety.
He's a safety / linebacker. At least he was in Clemson. Very much so a hybrid. So
we just drafted Jack Campbell at 18th overall.
Yep.
We already have Derek Barnes, who's slotted as the other linebacker.
And you can move him back. Yeah, I don't think he's as talented.
No, you can't. Because he is in camp right now, and he is the best linebacker in camp right now. He's the number one linebacker because Derek Barnes. Yes, Derek Barnes is winning that camp battle over Jack Campbell right now. And then you got Jack Campbell, you got Derek Barnes, you got Alex Anzalone, you got Malcolm Rodriguez. Where is Isaiah Simmons gonna fit into that? Like,
I mean, you put monsters in, and you cut some guys that aren't so great. And then now I do understand. I think you said Isaiah Simmons just got a contract. They just gave him like a big deal.
Yeah, they gave him like $45 million. There's no.
Okay, I was looking yesterday, and it wasn't out yet, so I wasn't sure what they were gonna do. Now that part, obviously, I wouldn't have done. It would have been one of those prove it sort of things. But the Giants, being the Giants, do giant things. So hopefully he proves it. But
we got Robert. Robert's in the back right here, and I think that's a better question for Robert. Like, really, the Packers could use good safety like that. Like, why didn't the Packers go and make a play at Isaiah Simmons?
Honestly, man, we've been talking about that on the Frozen Tundra. I mean, our weakest spot is safety as far as that goes, and it seems that Goody's fit with who we got right now. I mean. Mm-hmm. I wasn't. We could have went after. Was it Baker when he was out there? I don't know, man. Honestly, I like our defense this year. You guys are not gonna like it, but the Packer fans love the defense this year. We got some guys that came on that are gonna that we didn't expect.
Yeah,
same here. Same here, man. I feel you on that with your Packers, dude. Same here with the Lions and the defense.
I mean, I know you guys were ranked last or whatever, or close to last. Yeah, and I know you improved. I mean, and you guys keep talking about that branch trade. Well, you guys, have you not seen what Reed's been doing? I mean, we pretty much swapped and got a great wide receiver. You guys got what remains to be seen.
Michigan State, right?
Yeah, dude, he's lighting it up in preseason. He's all over the place.
And that's fine. I'm not saying that, but the thing is like we didn't trade players. The thing is like
no, I know we just traded picks. Yeah.
Because here's the way that it's going to look from the outside.
We weren't looking at Reed.
If he becomes what he's becoming, like, I mean, this isn't some
Brown. He could very well be the Packers St. Brown.
This is like not just a rookie doing good. Like this guy came into our camp and went from not just the best rookie. They're touting him as the best defensive player on our team right now. Like he has moved up like that. And you don't find guys like that. Maybe he did deserve being picked at 18, and then Jack Campbell should have been the 45th pick or something like that, because that's the way that they're playing right now.
And I said it before, and someone scoffed at me. Man, I know it's just the build size comparison, but do we have ourselves our modern day Ronnie Lott?
Did Ronnie Lott play safety?
Yeah, Ronnie Lott was safety.
Okay, so that's what they're saying.
Ryan Brandt. Whew.
Yeah.
I don't know. Ronnie Lott's pretty tough. You guys have heard that story about him cutting off his finger, right? Just
oh, yeah. Oh, no, I know. No one's
he broke his finger and he had his ring on, and they cut his ring off or cut his finger off. He didn't want the ring cut,
I know.
so he cut his finger
I know
off.
all about some Ronnie Lott.
In a game situation.
Ain't no one in the last 20 years cutting off any fingers, man. Even 20 years ago.
Well, for one, they wouldn't let him do that now because the players' union will stop. Yeah. They'll. I guess they can't stop you. I guess if you're going to bite your damn finger off, then you're nothing you're going to be able to do about it. But yeah, we like the Brian Branch pick, and I'm just busting balls right here. You guys should be able to bust our balls because we haven't ever won the division.
Look, and the only thing between me and main event Mike is he's always on the mic. I mean, I never get on with him and talk. He's always talking. Everybody can hear him, but you can't hear me, man. I'm cussing at my goddamn phone at you guys, man, during the show.
Well, then the whole promotion thing is working because, if he comes out and then he's in his spot and everybody wants to come out and get a piece, I think. Yeah,
but he's calling me out and I can't call him back, because I would rebut instantly, man. I am, but you guys can't hear me, so.
Yeah, these I love how the trash talk kind of leaks into this a little bit. I try to taper this one back a little bit and leave.
Oh, you can't help it when you put Viking fans in the group, boy.
Yeah, and I love that part of it.
And Bears fans who, say what they say, we got to chirp back. I feel you.
Easy.
But I'm learning all the good stuff. Hey, Woody, I brought you on and didn't even get to say hello to you, Woody. How you doing? Welcome to the show.
Say hello to my little friend.
Gentlemen, how you doing?
What's up?
Sometimes it's just so heated. What are we going to do?
Not me. Not me, though, bud. I'm very calm. I don't give a shit. I'm just happy that Cole Kmet returned to practice.
Yeah, for sure. So they're going to play. How much they playing Justin Fields in this last game?
It better be at least quarter and a half or the whole first half. If I was coach, that's what I'd be doing.
You can't see what he's got in the first quarter. I'm just saying, because to me, I mean, this is your last chance to test who you got on your team because you're cutting guys on Tuesday. I mean, I'd run my starters through and let them play a quarter. That'll get them a couple series, and then I'd yank them. That's what I hope they do with Love. I don't want to see him in there going past the. I mean, we already know what he's going to do.
Well, listen, one quarter, it depends. How many drives. If we have 3 drives and we go down and score touchdowns or points, yank them. But we can't be just doing a couple series, one quarter, and then going right in, playing Green Bay, think he's going to throw all over the field. So if I was coach, it depends on how the first couple of drives go. If they're scoring points, if they're, touchdowns at least, he's throwing the ball down the field. Now, if he throws 2 screen passes again and they score touchdowns, that's not going to be enough to show.
So I hope it does. I hope you guys don't do that because I'd like to see a little bit more.
Right. I know you guys want to see more to see what you're getting on week 1.
Bro, I don't expect nothing but vanilla defenses, vanilla offenses. This is preseason. You're not showing your good stuff, but your base defenses, I mean, everybody's got tape on that. That's what you're putting out there. If your rookies can't run the base stuff, who cares what your package is? They're not going to see it anyway.
Right.
So we got directed right at you, Woody. What is the status? Do you know the status of Darnell Wright's injury?
As of right now,
he's looking it up right there.
Yeah, I'm looking it up because I didn't see any update. All I saw was on Cole Kmet.
Yeah,
As of right now, no update yet.
no
Because
update.
that injury was from the other day, wasn't it, or the other week?
The other day.
Okay. That's what I thought. Because I remember someone, it might have been in one of the last shows, someone had brought that injury up, and I was like, oh.
So I brought
That's
that injury up. I brought that injury up. I brought Cole Kmet up. So
Okay. I do remember the lineman being brought up. I was like, oh, that sucks for the Bears line. Hope it's not anything bad.
The other thing is Edmonds is practicing now. He's back as well. So
Yeah,
but
I did hear about that one too.
we can't go into week one with Jenkins and Wright hurt, or we're pretty much screwed.
God, no, that's
nobody
that's
talks
your
about depth.
tackle.
And nobody talks about depth until they need depth,
Mhm.
right? Like, oh, we don't have a depth problem.
Can't avoid injuries. You can't avoid it. It's impossible.
But
Mhm.
until the injury happens, that's where the chest beating comes in. And and that's where a lot of the confidence came from, because if they didn't have the injuries, then what Justin Fields and DJ Moore and all that offense could bring to the table was a lot more threatening. But if you don't have a continuity on your offensive line, that you're going to be running into a lot of the same stuff that you did last year.
All I know is that the interview with Eberflus, his injury is not serious.
Yeah, but when they don't say what it is, if it's not serious, they just say. You know what I'm saying, man? It kills me.
Oh man, Sarah says I'm petty. I'm petty with words. I'm still classy enough not to throw punches like Eagles fans.
Well played, Sarah.
Dude, I love her because she don't like the Eagles either.
I knew you would. Oh my gosh, good trash talk going on here. Okay, right here, Bear Down Mike says Darnell injury is week to week. So
it's going to be, since there's a week in between the last preseason game and the regular season. If he rests, I think he'll be ready for week one.
yeah, it was on Tuesday right there.
Mm-hmm.
I had somebody that called out the NFI list that says that it doesn't count against the 53. I would like somebody to go look that up.
Did you guys look up that rule? Did you look at that, what I posted on there? I mean, it talks about if you're on the PUP list while in camp and then you carry over into the new season, it's 6 weeks. That's what it is. But I think he's right about the full rules if you go on the PUP during the season. But if he's already on it and then carries into it now, then it's 6 weeks out.
I think that there's two versions of it from what Jeremy had said. Yeah, and he backed it up with his article from the NFL.com. It is 4 weeks when it comes with that. But I think that you can have 4 week or you can have an 8 week designation, and it can be 6 weeks if it's carrying from the season, from the preseason.
From the preseason in, yeah, that's
non-NFC North talk, but anybody see Richardson mocking the Eagles fans when he scored a touchdown yesterday? Dude, I was yelling out my window doing this.
I haven't watched the clip yet.
Loved it.
Bear Down Mike says Eberflus will not give entire injury problem.
No, the thing about Eberflus, what he does with injuries, he doesn't update injuries. He doesn't say anything. But if it's a long length of time, then he'll mention it. So there's no mention about Wright and stuff like that. So like I said, he could be ready for week one.
Well, I mean,
Right.
unless it's really serious, I don't think too many coaches go into it. Like, it's one of those, it's kind of minor sort of thoughts. Let's just give it a day before we even, put anything out there to worry anyone.
But going back to
think
the
that's a lot
Ronnie
of
Lott
it.
thing, because
That's
I did argue this about Ronnie Lott the other day.
Yeah. Yeah. Was it you when I was on video and I said that?
Oh, I don't
When I
know.
made that comment?
But
I know someone was like, Ronnie Lott, there's no way. So I wasn't sure if that was you or someone else.
I think Ronnie Lott was the hardest hitting safety, more than Palomalu, more than Ed Reed. Ronnie Lott,
I'm with
number
you.
one.
Ronnie
I'm
Lott
telling you.
was
And John, you got to stop getting me in trouble, bro. On here, I mean that. All I was trying to say was Brian Branch was looking really, really good, and then you come in and be like, "Oh yeah, you need a safety like Ronnie Lott," and now these people think I'm comparing Ronnie Lott to Brian
Hey,
Branch.
Russell, we understand you're a home.
I am. I'm saying he could be like Ronnie Lott. I'm comparing,
Oh, Jesus Christ.
not this guy, not
you
this
see
guy. I am.
see it?
Give me the smoke.
You
He didn't
heard it
do
here
nothing.
first.
I said.
It's John Kapler, the one saying Brian Branch is going to be the next Ronnie Lott. no,
I said he could be like that. He has the potential, and we love our high potential.
Russell, do you have
my way?
internet is forever?
Russell, do you have the Homer alert button?
A what?
Do you have the Homer alert sound?
Sorta.
We're going to bite a kneecap off.
How about that?
There you go. That's close enough. Wow.
I don't know.
Marching down the field.
Oh my gosh. This is going to be fun though. After this weekend, we get to talk about 53-man rosters and real football.
Yeah, cut downs. That's the next big story. Will be cut downs after this weekend.
I got a question for we got two other fan bases in here. So when all three of our teams, cut down, your guys' teams in general, because you know your teams, how many surprise players do you guys think your teams pick up from other teams? 2, 3, 1 surprise player?
I think we'll pick up 2. Okay. I think we need another edge rusher to help stop the run. And we need more. We need, with these injuries on the offensive line, we need an offensive lineman too for depth.
Is there anyone out there that's going to be a surprise for offensive linemen?
Goody's always looking for players. He's constantly picking up guys and cutting them. And I mean, I'm not for sure going to say that they're going to find somebody. I mean, they're pretty happy with what we got. We got a lot of depth, and they're going to be cutting guys that I wish they didn't cut.
Yeah. I think that the Lions are in the same boat as that, where I'm actually afraid of losing a couple of these defensive linemen like Julian Okora or Romeo, or, these guys that are on the bottom of the depth chart right now that, gosh, I mean, I think they could trade Julian Okora for a 4th or 5th round pick.
Well, see, when you say things like Branch is like that special guy, so that means someone special's got to get cut. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
And
Russell said, I wouldn't.
What's happening?
Russell said he wouldn't cut Branch because he's just going to be like Ronnie Lott.
I definitely wouldn't cut. Dude, that dude is a baller, man. Like, if you've watched anything on him, I mean,
you literally just said he's your best defensive player. You literally said that.
I'm saying that. I'm not saying that. I'm saying I'm reading that, like, because I haven't really seen him other than that huge hit that he had in that, and he has that in that Jacksonville game. But I'm going by what I'm seeing, like Jeremy Reisman from Pride of Detroit and Locked On Lions are actually watching him in practice. And it's like, they can't keep this guy off the field. They're thinking that he's going to be a depth piece, and he's pushing his way onto the roster, being like, we got to find a place to put this guy as one of the 11 guys.
Is he there week 1?
Yeah, I think he's going to start week 1. I think they'll put
the
defense
corner.
Slot corner, and they'll move Chauncey Gardner back to the other safety spot with Kirby Joseph. And then Tracy Walker is going to be depth. He was the captain of our freaking defense last year. Like, that's crazy.
That's what I mean. In certain packages, he might not. We play like a, I forget what it's called, but like
it's good that you're not losing
a bunch of DB packages, like a 6 DB package, whatnot.
You're able to put these guys in all different positions. The Packers know all about this. You got tweeners. Rashawn Gary can rush from the inside or outside. You can put him anywhere on the line. That's what
hybrids.
All of their safeties and all the Lions linebackers and their defensive linemen are all multiples. They can play inside,
when it's like
outside,
a third and 15, I think you replace some linebackers with safeties for coverage.
Oh, can you put that comment back up?
Good players.
Dude, I saw someone saying that Mariota is going to be starting by week 4, week 5. There was people claiming that. I don't know if it's just I thought they're just trolling them, but
I mean, it's happened a lot before because I believe that quarterbacks progressed into greatness, right? Because every great quarterback gets stopped. Even the great Mahomes got stopped for a year, and then he has to kind of retool his thinking, figure out how people are, and then kind of reinvent himself. Some quarterbacks never reinvent themselves to how NFL defenses are defending them. And then it turns into like they have to reinvent themselves a third time. If they have to reinvent themselves the third time and they make it to that third time, then they're one of the great quarterbacks. That means that they can impose their will in a bunch of different ways. That's where Mahomes is right now. Josh Allen is heading there if he can bring it back this year because they stopped Josh Allen last year. Now, I believe that he will regress this year. Jalen Hurts will regress this year because he will. The NFL defenses are going to figure him out. They got a whole year of tape. They had a whole off season to try to figure out how to cut off his angles and his quick outlets and the way that he processes. So
yeah, I was watching a lot of the Sheagle games last year when the Bears weren't on, and there was no spy for Jalen Hurts. He could run right up the middle,
right?
And there's a lot of touchdowns that he did that. And
it's definitely going to be interesting because when guys stand out like that, everybody games to shut them down. And I mean that's why you guys, like you Lion fans, you think it's going to be so easy. You guys, you're right. You guys have gotten better, but you've also made yourself known, and now you got a target on your back bigger than ever. They ain't gonna be so easy.
I mean, all you have to do is
Brian Branch. You know, that helps other players. You know, people are maybe forgetting about Jack Campbell, and that gives him a little bit more time to, you know, get acquainted, get better at it because everyone, you know, when Branch gets on the field, you know, people like me and other fans are hyping up Brian Branch. So everyone's just going to be Brian Branch. And we're going to be fans. And
Jeremy confirming that.
Fans are going to forget about all our other players. So it might be a good thing.
Yeah, and I think it's an everything defense. Like when you talk about all of these starter level guys, they want to be able to rotate them in and out. And that's what makes the defensive line so tough. It's not just Aiden Hutchinson. It's the fact that when Aiden Hutchinson comes off the field, his replacement player is pretty damn good, and you're still going to be having a fresh guy as a tackle. You can wear those guys down through the course of a game if you have a deep offense.
If Aiden Hutchinson, I said it before, if Aiden Hutchinson stays healthy and stays on the field, he's going to lead the North in sacks. You heard it here first.
And that's just progression. Like, and that isn't even like, oh, wow, you're being a homer or anything like that. That's just progression. You expect your high level draft picks. And if you look back, like
the
guys
from
level
1, go to level 2, go to level 3, so on and so forth.
So if you look back, you can see the history of the picks that were taken in the top 5 as pass rushers. They all make massive jumps from their first year to their second year. And that's why you don't see 20 sacks for a brand new defensive lineman. You still got to get acclimated. Sometimes your body's got to get right. Whatever.
You got to find your move.
Right.
you got to find your move, man.
Hutchinson's gotten big this year. I don't know if anyone's noticed it or remembers it when, and I've said it many times, when he got drafted, I remember Jaguars fans, there's a podcast and comments of, look at Aiden Hutchinson and his small arms. He's not like Joey Bosa. He's not big in the gym. Well, he got in the gym and he got big, and this is only year 2. He's not even into his man body.
Well, look at TJ Watt. Bigger. Look at TJ Watt. He's not the biggest guy, and look at him. He can roll, boy. Exactly. Plus Hutchinson came from a good college. Say, Russell.
Yes, he did.
Your buddies.
Hey, I hated Hutchinson. I
know.
Because he beat the shit out of my Buckeyes. He had 3 sacks in that game, and he was the big reason that Michigan was finally able to turn that tide right there. And when they drafted him to the Lions, I hated Hutchinson, but then I learned to love him right away because I don't care about college no more. You know,
Stacks make you forget all about the hate.
Well, I hate Notre Dame. I dislike Notre Dame. I hate them to a T, but not more than Penn State though. But I like Cole Kmet. I saw his highlights at Notre Dame. He played good, and he was our leading receiver last year. It does not saying much, but like I said, we got to have him scoring in the red zone. Him and Tanyan. Hopefully they can, squeeze in there and get some touchdowns.
You got to like that Brisker pick.
I wanted Paris Johnson, so no, I don't like that.
Pretty damn good, dude. With him out of Penn State, I thought he was one of the better safeties that came out of that class, man. I was definitely envious. I was glad to see that the Vikings went and took I get burnt by Jamison Williams all the time, Lewis Seen. Yeah, he's seen the back of Jamison Williams' jersey on multiple occasions. So I knew that Brisker was a better safety than Seen right out the gate. And
yep.
But Sean Payton,
you go to a certain school doesn't mean you're going to be good. And I think everyone thought because he went to Georgia, as part of that Georgia defense, he's going to be good.
Has Sean Payton issued an apology for Nathaniel Hackett? What happened there? Anybody know?
Sean Payton, in so many words, blamed Russell Wilson's play.
You didn't see that in the Hard
last
Knocks?
year.
That was on Hard Knocks week 1, man. Payton took over the coaching job over there where Hackett was in Denver, and he said that he ran the team into the ground. He publicly came out and talked trash, and that's when Rodgers said, "No one talks about my OC like that." Rodgers came out and was defending them, the whole deal.
Oh wow.
All right, because Wilson has played awful. This whole public criticism thing, it's a hard thing to do. You got to walk on eggshells to have an opinion anymore. Al Water from Denver was the hardest hitting safety I've seen. Loved Ronnie.
Atwater from Denver.
Atwater,
he was a beast too. Oh God.
That's
Steve Atwater. He was nice too.
Aaron Glenn is going to be like the kid in the candy store with this defense. Yeah, he's got a lot of moving pieces that would be fun. If I'm a defensive coordinator and you got toys to put all over the place, it's just like getting Jahmyr Gibbs and Laporta. Ben Johnson just got to be like a little mad scientist trying to figure out ways that he can get these guys into space and mess people up. That's got to be fun. It's like,
if our defense is so improved, come next year's draft, not even next year's draft, next year's free agency, you're always looking to fix holes. Well, if we fixed holes, we can go out and we can get toys,
Well, just I'm worried about Green Bay because if they do good this year, they get that $40 million back next year, and it's going to be all over again. So
nah, don't go saying that.
I'm realistic, man. I'm realistic.
Yeah, so am I. I feel you. I'm just saying, don't speak bad juju back into the division, man.
Look, Green Bay's not going anywhere. We're going to have a down year or two. I mean, it happens, man. You can't win every year. You just can't. I mean, you guys get older, guys change. When guys stand out, they get taken away, they plucked away, they get lured away from your team. I mean, it's not designed.
You guys have had the division for so many years. You guys had 2 quarterbacks for God. Favre was there for how long? Rodgers was there for so long, like
30 years, man.
Yeah, combined. Like it was a long time. It's time for the Bears, the Lions, the Vikings to step up and hopefully the Lions to dominate for 8 years.
But who said life is fair? I understand the mentality of a Packer fan in right here because what's different about the team? You lost Adrian Amos, right? And then you're changing quarterbacks. That defense is still the same. They drafted one of the best defensive pass rushers in the first round of the draft. They got another wide receiver. They got new playmakers. A young team.
Hold on, time out. Who's the best pass rusher that came out of the draft that they drafted?
I said one of the best pass rushers.
One of the best. He didn't say the best. He said one of the best.
No, not the best, but one of the best.
Lucas Van Ness.
Lucas Van Ness.
So like when you look at the team, what's not better about them other than like if Jordan Love comes out, and I do believe that he can't be average because last year a 75% version of Aaron Rodgers gave you a chance to win. And if he comes in and he plays average, his average ain't going to be Aaron Rodgers' average. You're going to win 5 games if he's average. He needs to be good. He needs to be good. And then I think
very not just good. He needs to be very good. Good just isn't going to cut it with Love.
There's
until
a line.
Love proves what he is.
The defense
we don't know what Love is.
Can carry that Green Bay Packer team with a good running game with Aaron Jones, good offensive line play. That's the thing is like they ain't rebuilding. You're not the Bears. You're not trying to start it from the studs.
Is that Packers defense that good though, to where they can be like the Bears were when they went to the Super Bowl?
Why not?
The Bears carried the defense, and their quarterback was what's his nuts.
Why not? Because we're touting the same damn thing, John. I'm just pushing back on it. I'm going to argue for Robert right here.
Is the Packers, the Packers defense that good?
The Packers defense gets to tout the same damn thing we do from last year because when we were 1-6, we were historically bad. And you can look at that and say, wow, that is a bad defense. Well, the Packers started out the exact same way. They were awful. And then all of a sudden, some of those younger players started coming around, and then they had a good stretch at the end of the year. They had one.
I don't know about
John. Are you asking if the Packers defense now is like the Bears defense in 06?
Yeah,
when they went to the Super Bowl?
Are they that kind of defense?
Absolutely not.
I'm not touting. Nope. I'm legit asking because I don't know. Are they that kind of defense?
Absolutely.
Like a Baltimore Ravens defense had Trent Dilfer.
Oh God,
that's what I'm asking. Is their defense?
No, the Bears defense and the Bears defense in 06 was not even close to the Ravens defense in 2000. They're saying the 86 Bears.
Where's the Packers defense compared to those defenses that helped carry a quarterback? Is what I'm asking.
So what do you think? You chime in on this because we're talking about.
I'm trying to make sense of what he's trying to talk about. Look, man, I don't care what defense is. It's this year's defense, man. Okay, this year's defense is much better than it was last year. Already, what we've seen, the depth and the guys that are coming out, man, it looks good. And we got Rashawn Gary back early. I mean, that was a huge loss, and we still made adjustments, and our defense got better without him in there. Mm-hmm. Now you put him back in there. I mean, look, I'm the first one to say I don't understand what happened last year with the defense from the playoffs when we played the 49ers. We held them to 10 points. I mean, where'd that defense go? Because it wasn't there last year. They changed it. Barry changed something up, and we started out stale, man. I mean, we were flat. There was nothing. And then we turned it around.
So top 10 defense for the Packers, top 15?
If they're not top 10, I'm going to be pissed off as a fan. And I know a lot of people are. And already they're showing that there's no reason why they're not going to be a top 10. You guys should be worried. You guys should seriously be worried.
That's legit what I was asking. I wasn't poking, making fun, doubting. I was literally trying to figure out.
Yeah, but I don't get into this comparison thing. You want to compare them to the 85 Bears? You want to compare them to the 2000 Ravens? Who gives a goddamn? Those are in the past. We're talking about what's going to come this year. What I see right now, what I've seen from the tape, what I've seen with my own eyes. That's what I'm going on.
Okay. Yeah, I guess that wasn't great. I should have been asking.
No, bro, it's cool. It's not bad. It's we all got look. I love football, man. I'll talk football all day long with you guys if you want, but I'm not going to compare players. I'm not that type of fan where I just want to see what this year's team got. I mean, I don't know what the limit is for Jordan Love. Maybe he'll be good. Maybe he'll be bad. What he's showing is he's going to at least be an 8-win quarterback, I think. But I'm saying our defense is going to get us a couple more wins. I'm looking at 10 wins. That's my take.
Okay.
I call these Cracker Jack responses right here. There's like these things of 33 years of Hall of Fame QB play for the Packers. That's like one of the.
All right, listen, man, and I don't mind those comments as long as you had a Hall of Fame quarterback somewhere in there. It's not my fault your team or your organization couldn't draft you what you're talking about. You guys want to throw shade on some players. I don't understand why you would throw shade on guys who achieve something. You know what I'm saying?
Mike,
that to me is just that's shit on somebody.
You suck, Mike.
Well,
maybe that Mike comes back on.
that's,
Is Robert,
oh,
you're
shit,
talking
what up,
about
main
I
event,
don't
Mike?
care about the past. I don't give a goddamn about the past. Is that what I just heard a Packer fan say?
look, man.
Good
The
God,
past
you
is
haven't.
the past is the past, Mike.
Oh,
That's where
you
it
just said that
belongs.
left.
Keep it there.
Oh my God, that's great. That is, I didn't even think about it like that. He was like, did a Packer fan just come on this show and say they don't care about the past? For
Look, I'm not that. Look, I'm not that repetitive fan, man. You guys all know the truth. The Packers have been dominating you guys for 3 decades, man. 30 years. Talk to shit all you want. In the end, it is what it is. I can sit here all day and clown on you guys for it, but I'm expecting you're going to get better.
And that's where we're at right here. And it's this year, and we're talking about the Packers defense in 2023 with 8 first-round draft picks on there. Joe Barry looked like he was starting to get this thing together last year. That was my major point. I am on record of saying that I do think that the Packers are going to beat the Bears in week 1. And this was before all of the injuries to the Bears. Now I definitely think I hope that you guys don't get murdered in that first game, because I mean, that's a good defensive line that you're going to be going up against, and Justin Fields might be dead by week 3.
Fields will have fresh leg, man. He'll be able to run, man. Trust me.
Rounders. That's sweet. I forgot about that with the Packers, because I think you had said that a couple weeks ago. You had mentioned how they had 8 first rounders, and I didn't know that. Whew.
Yeah, I can't remember the last time we had a defense like this. I mean, 96 is one of our best defenses, man. You know, it's holy cow. And this is up there.
The Packers 96 season highlight thing that they used to put on the VHSs back in the day. Everyone had a season VHS. I was just watching that. I was like, damn, they were.
Reggie White was a monster, man. Reggie White was a monster.
Reggie White. Oh my God.
Maybe the greatest defensive player of all time right there. And honestly, I think Aaron Donald's right there too.
Yeah, no, yeah.
I mean,
bro,
they
got that move. They got to move. You got to get a move.
Gilbert Brown, guy from Michigan. He lived in Michigan. Gilbert freaking Brown was an animal for that defense up the middle.
I think that we lost Woody. He's like, man, no,
we weren't talking enough Bears.
We weren't talking enough Bears. He's feeling bad because I said that the Packers were going to beat up on the Bears.
Bro, look. If we kept talking about it, I was going to tell them what I tell everybody. I'm going to say it right now. Week 1 is Jordan Love taking over as the new owner of the Bears organization right there in Lambeau South. Do you realize the record for the last 30 years? The Packers have won 24-6 in Soldier Field. It's Lambeau South, man. That's another home for us.
Ouch.
Oh my gosh. We will find more out about Love when we see him in action in crunch time. The first regular season game. QBs show their true colors when the game is on the line.
Oh yeah, we're gonna smack you down. Yeah, you're gonna see, bro.
Here's the thing. If you remember, and this is how good I think that the Packers defense could be, is, last year the San Francisco 49ers trotted out 3 different quarterbacks, and none of them were really all that good. You're trotting out like a 7th Mr. Irrelevant, Brock Purdy, and that's fine and everything like that. But if you're running the football like the Packers can do with Aaron Jones and A.J. Dillon, and you're playing really, really good defense, and you can hold teams to under 20 points, Jordan Love doesn't have to be that good. You can lean on a running game. He can pass for 200 yards a game, a tutty, and
that's what Aaron Rodgers did. He didn't have no big 300-yard games. Everything was under 300 yards. He just managed the teams. We won 13 wins like that.
But if you're planning on, if the defense gives up 25, 30 points a game, and you're expecting Jordan Love to go out there and win you games like Aaron Rodgers did, then it may be a long season.
We didn't complete. Our defense didn't show up for 60 minutes, man. That was the problem, man. They'd show up for either the second half of the game or the first half of the game.
And you get Eric Stokes back. I mean, there's a lot of pieces that they're going to be able to put in there. So I'm not going to underestimate the Packers. I really think that it is going to be a two-headed race for second place. I do think that the Lions, I'm looking at the team. I'm not looking at it with my homer eyes. I look at it from roster construction, from what they've done, continuity, new guys that are coming in, along with the guys that are staying on the team. And the Lions have one of the best returning rosters, even though they've replaced their whole secondary. All the offensive line, a lot of defensive linemen, all these guys are coming back, just like the Packers. You're not losing very much continuity right there. And the Vikings just lost so much, like 7 starters.
They didn't replace it. That's the thing, is when you give up stuff, I mean, it's like the Bears last year. They had a fire sale. They got rid of everybody. That's why they only won 3 wins.
And the Bears, the depth, they went out and they got some great starters, right? They went out and got a couple nice depth pieces too. But the thing is that's already being tested, and you haven't even gotten into the first game yet.
Yeah.
And I mean, you got 2 first-round picks next year. If I'm giving you advice, like I gave to a bunch of the Lions fans last year when I predicted to have 8 wins last year and overachieved a little bit. It's like, don't expect your guys to just develop overnight. And just because you got the best guy in the draft or some guy in free agency doesn't mean that it's going to just come right in and it's going to
it might take a while. Yeah.
Instantly. So, I mean,
it's a team sport. You got to gel. You got to all gel. You got to come together.
I mean, if you go from 3 wins to 7, 8 wins, Chicago, you should feel good about that.
Yeah, it's double your wins, double or triple.
I do have a question for the Packers fan here. Will the guy that you guys just drafted from Iowa, will he have as an impactful, well, maybe not as impactful, but will he be close to being on the same level as Hutchinson was last year?
I didn't hear sorry, man. Someone tried to call my phone. Sorry. I didn't hear the question.
So the first round pick that you guys got from Iowa, the edge rusher, will he be close to being on the same level as Hutchinson was last year?
I mean, his opportunity will be there. I mean, he's going to be in the rotation in week 1. I mean, I don't think you keep him out, especially with Gary coming back and the Smith, Preston Smith on the other side. I mean, we got a good rotation. There's no way he's not in there, and there's no way he's not performing. And by midseason, maybe he's even starting,
I mean, that's the only knock. And I'm not even going to knock anything on the Packers. I was talking about it yesterday where it's like no news is good news. And you're not really hearing a lot out of a Packer camp. And the only knock that, and I wouldn't even call it a knock, like criticism, is Lucas Van Ness has a bull rush that is like a badass bull rush, but there's not much developed past that. So he needs to develop other pass rushing moves. And even if he is not coming in right off and being the starting guy, you got Preston Smith and Rashawn Gary. You got him coming in. You can bring him in on 3rd downs to be the bull rush guy. But
did you see Enigbari? I mean, that guy came up. He was part of the reason why our defense was doing so well. And already in the last preseason game, he pushed that guy back 10 yards and got on the quarterback. I mean, that was a straight bull rush. That was a straight definition of a bull rush. So, I mean, we're going to be fine. And it's going to give Van Ness a chance to learn and develop from these guys that, I mean, it's invaluable time, and it's going to be worth it all.
And he's depth. That's one of the things that when you say recipe for success and you're drafting players, that's what builds your depth. Because if you're not expecting your 1st and 2nd round players to come right in and be the guys, then they get to develop. They don't have the pressure. They can come in the spots where their strengths are and everything like that. But no, this has been a great conversation today, man. I'm up against it right here because
hey, Russell, John Dord says he wanted me to ask you a question. He goes, "What's your record in September and October?"
Oh, I forgot to bring that one up. I did see that one in there. Hey,
yeah, no, he wanted me to ask you about it, but
we are not good. Hey, the Detroit.
Is it because you don't practice? Is it because you don't play in preseason?
No.
Is it a slow start because no preseason?
I think in 2021, it was because we were behind the 8 ball a lot. I mean, when you're talking being 60 million behind the cap and you're competing with other teams that don't have that strength, they had a lot of undrafted free agents. I mean, no excuses or anything. You won 3 games. You didn't have a roster. You ripped the Band-Aid off. We got rid of dudes like Trey Flowers and Jamie Collins on these bloated, ridiculous contracts. Second year, you're seeing the development and going from 3 to 9 wins. Like I telling the Bear fan here, if you win 8-9 games, you should feel good going into that third year that your regime's doing the right thing. And that's what Lion fan is doing right now. We're like, okay, I see it was 3 wins, and then it was 9 wins because we ended 8-2. You're looking at the slow start. Is he going to start slow again this year? I don't know. We got the freaking Chiefs week 1.
I know you got the Super Bowl champs week 1.
I mean, back-to-back years, the Lions have a big test, but at the end of the year, we showed.
Yeah, you guys played Philly last year, right? It was Philly.
Yeah. So can we carry that? We've upgraded.
And you guys actually put up a good fight with Philly last year. I remember that.
45 points in that game, and it's like you need to say preseason. We came out maybe on defense. I mean, but it's like, your offense goes out and, they didn't put up the 45. They did score 1 defensive touchdown, but they still scored, 38 points on offense. That's not a slow start.
No, it was but after that, it kind of tanked off for you guys, but you got back in it. I mean, look, man, like they always say, it's not how you start, it's how you finish. I mean,
but in the second game, they went into, really, the defense started slow as a bug right there. I'm telling you, man, when you give up 48 points or when you score 45 plus points in 2 games in a row and you lose both of the games, your defense needs some help. Games you score 40
did not
points.
help our mental either. Like that defeated guys. I don't care what anyone says. That physically and mentally I just fucking a hammer and just beat them fucking down into the ground. That doesn't help. So
A-Dub says that Lucas Van Ness is a rotational player coming in and developing, and he's ready to start.
He's ready to start. I'm telling you, by mid to late season, he's probably going to be in the starting lineup. And I'm hoping everybody sees it. I'm hoping he's got like 8 sacks at that point.
This is awesome. Thank you, Brent, for watching the show. Thank you, everybody, for watching the show. I wanted to put some shout outs here because I know, Robert, you're on the Frozen Tundra Network. So go ahead and plug the show, brother.
Friday nights. Going to be going tonight, 7:00. Come talk some Packer football because we're going to talk about it. We open the show with Packer talk, and then we move on to the other fan bases. And we invite guys on. We invite you all to come and have a chat.
Yep, and they do a little bit of the trash talking too. You guys, you can get yourself warmed up for the NFC North open mic every single Monday at 7 p.m. Eastern, and we got. I guess it would be 7 or 6 p.m. in the Central Time for everybody else. Don't bring your feelings to this, okay? We're trying to hurt each other's feelings. A little bit of trash talk. Season's getting close, and go ahead, John. Why don't you go ahead and plug your show too? I know that you got it.
John Kapler. I love my Lions. I don't, I'm not a big guy. I sit here. I hold my phone. I don't got fancy equipment and whatnot like everybody else, but that don't stop my love for my team any more than anybody else. I put out some videos every now and then. I love to talk Lions. I don't ask for, subscribers. What I do ask for is comments and good football talk in the comment section of my videos. Like, you don't got to subscribe. You ain't got to hit the like. Let's just have some good football talks in the comment section. I would love some videos to just have crap tons of comments, and I will talk back and forth as soon as I see it. I appreciate it. I love to talk ball. Come check it out. Maybe I'm gonna try and start maybe doing some lives. We'll see how it goes. I don't got that many fans, so I don't know who'll pop in. But I'll try live. Maybe go half an hour, see how it goes. But come talk football. I'm always down. Go Lions, as always.
Right on. Well, I'm not ashamed to say come subscribe to my channel. I want you to subscribe to my channel. I want you to follow the pages. I want you to come and follow Mike the Bear fan if you're a Bear fan. I want you to come follow Bill the Packer fan if you're a Packer fan. And if you're a Viking fan, then man.
Oh!
If you're a Viking fan, you definitely should come to the NFC North open mic, and you should defend your team because we're still looking for a Viking fan that we can come represent their page for. But this has been NFC North Talk with your host, Russell Wayne. That's me. I do this every single day at 11 o'clock Eastern, 10 o'clock in the Central Time. But, we love our football talk. God bless each and every one of you that is out there listening right now. And I look forward to talking to you guys a little football tomorrow and on Monday. Peace out. One pride.
Yeah.
It's not fair! They were so gonna be okay.
What's going on, Russell Wayne and the Main Event 365 Network? This is Jason Kabinda from the Detroit Lions. Here to give y'all a shout out, man. We appreciate all the support, man. Know you guys are big fans. Know that you guys are rooting for us to take the North this year, and we're going to do just that, man. Appreciate you guys so much. Just want to give y'all a shout out. Y'all have a great day.